My name's Mark Walsh from Integration Training. This is a video on how posture is embodied. I'm joined today by my friend Hannah Gower. Last week we did a video which was looking at how people's personality is embodied and how you can guess people's personality from their movement and their posture. So this week we're going to go into a little bit more detail with one person who I know quite well. Hannah and I have been friends since childhood, actually. And do you want to say a little bit about what you do and how people generally see your personality?
I'm a student nurse and I am a practicing Buddhist as well. And I guess generally I am seen as quite sort of kind and good listener, and I value empathy a lot as a central force in my life.
Great. So I've known Hannah for a little while and all those things are true. So I'm going to walk through some postural things and show everybody watching some things that they might notice, that maybe compare myself and you. Mm-hmm. So the first thing I notice as we're standing this way around is Hannah has a more concave shape with her spine, more like this. Yeah, mine is usually more convex. So in one model, this can look at yin and yang. So the kind of receptive qualities that Hannah has as a kind of good listener and those kind of, really receiving people and listening and caring about people, that's often in that yin shape, yeah? So if she were to exaggerate that, it would look kind of like this. It's not that much. With yang, I tend to be more kind of like putting myself forwards into the world. Fair assessment. Mm-hmm. Tends to be more this shape of the spine. So you see the difference between the two of us there. Okay. Next, let's look at qualities of movement. So my quality of movement tends to be quite direct. Yeah, that's how I tend to move, to do things. Hannah's is much more circular, much more soft, much more kind of flowing in that way. And this again is indicative of some of the personality features that she mentioned. You can also see this in the shoulders. So if we turn slightly this way, you notice Hannah's shoulders roll slightly in here, yeah. This way. Mine tend to be more out, that way. So again, this can be looked at in sense of yin and yang, whether you're putting it out in the world or receiving in. Symmetry. You'll notice that Hannah's less symmetrical generally than I stand. So I'll tend to stand quite straight on, quite straight, quite symmetrical. Hannah will be more like she is now, off to one side. Often you do the head kind of, yeah, like that. So this is usually more relationally orientated. Straight is often more kind of a task orientation. Also in our quality of movement, you'll notice I move quite quickly and directly. Is that fair to say my personality is fairly quick and direct?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah? Hannah's much more tactful, much more kind of soft in her manner. So you'll notice when Hannah moves, even if it's just a nod of the head or a small gesture, she's got a much more kind of relaxed, kind of circular movement to how she does things. And again, this is indicative of certain parts of the personality that we mentioned. Another thing you might notice is that I tend to be more head-led. You'd notice this more if we were walking, but I often walk this way, where Hannah can be more heart-led in your just general approach to life. So often the kind of chest is leading when Hannah moves. Yeah. There's lots and lots of models we could go into. You can look at width in the Strozzi system of length, width and depth. I have another video on that. Hannah's slightly less in the width and in her feet as well. So Hannah often stands with her feet slightly closer together. And I'll often stand with my feet sometimes even wider like this. Yeah. So the feet and the shoulders show that confident social space, how comfortable you are taking up space. Now, of course, this is situational as well as dispositional. So right now, this might be about the fact that Hannah's on camera and feeling a bit nervous, and I'm more used to being on camera. However, I know Hannah pretty well, and this is a pretty typical stance for her elsewhere as well. So you have to be careful when you're making these embodied assessments with just a one situation view. You need to see people across a few situations, really. So if you're interested in embodied training or how the body and personality interact, then you can give us a call, contact us through the website, which is linked here, or email me at mark@integrationtraining.co.uk. Thank you.